Bhagavad Gita is a book of mankind's collected experience of and answers to life's most basic questions. Who I am, from where do I come, what is my purpose and destiny, and most practically, how do I find happiness? These podcasts originate in the lectures of Neil Bhatt, a disciple of Swami Chinmayananda. They are presented here in 20 to 30-minute segments, each covering 3 of the Gita's 701 verses. Welcome to Gita Wisdom for Daily Living.
We have been discussing chapter 10, Vibhuti Yoga, Yoga of Divine Glories. So as we have seen, that Arjuna, after listening to the whole discourse from Bhagavan, nature of the Supreme Self, he said, but I need to know. So in verse 18 he says, Vistarena Atmano Yogam Vibhutim Cha Janardana Bhuyah Kathaya Truptihi Srunoto Nasti Me Amrutam. Tell me again in detail, O Janardana, your yoga power and your immanent glory, because I do not feel satisfied hearing your life-giving nectar-like speech. In other words, he said, give me some example. So Bhagavan said, Divyahi Atma Vibhutayah. My glories are divine. Pradhanyatah kurusreshta na ashya anta vistarasya me. There is no end to this glory, but I can give you some prominent examples. So Bhagavan clearly clarified to Arjuna that I'm going to give you some prominent examples. They do not constitute my entire glory, but they will give you some idea of where to see my presence. So we have been seeing many examples, right from the Vedic period to Pauranic period. And Bhagavan is now even coming down to our day-to-day experiences. Pavanaha Pavatamasmi, something which we experience in phenomenal nature. Everything and every being is nothing but my own self. Because he said, everything proceeds from me and I am the source of all things and beings. There is no other thing which has created this universe. When we see an effect, there has to be 2 causes. One is the efficient cause, somebody doesn't know how to make that thing to come into existence, and one is the material to create that thing. We said pizza, we need a pizza maker and pizza ingredients. So if you see pizza here, you can't simply say, well, the pizza just appeared here. We are Chinmaya Mission, we are divine people, we don't need to order pizza just appears here. We know that an intelligent person will not believe that. He knows that if there is pizza there is a pizza maker, and he had the ingredient for the pizza. So the same way, if this world exists, there is a material cause and efficient cause. Material cause is something which we have difficulty understanding. When we think, if Bhagavan knows everything, obviously he knows how to create this world. The problem is, where did he find the material? How do we create something? I'm an architect, so I can create buildings because I know how to design buildings. Just knowing how to create building doesn't create building. I need to have materials. Go to Home Depot or Lowe's to buy that material. So you go to Home Depot and say, where do you get materials? We get from our suppliers. So you can go up to the source of the material, where it came from. So in this case, if we find the source of the material which Bhagavan used to create this Jagat, you can always say that Bhagavan found the material from X, then X becomes greater Bhagavan than the Bhagavan who created it. You go to X and say, where did you get the material? From Y. Then the Y becomes greater than X because he had the original material. Then you go to Y and say, where did you get the material? Z had the material. When the Z becomes greater God than Y. So this exercise is futile because we cannot get to the source of the material. So you have to come to the conclusion that Bhagavan was the source of the material. And Bhagavan had only one thing which he did not have to buy, borrow or steal, that is his own self. Everything we acquire in this world, we bought from somebody, we borrowed from somebody, or we were stolen from somebody. But one thing I never had to acquire, that is my own self. That which I call I didn't acquire it from anywhere, I didn't buy from anywhere. So that's the only material available to Bhagavan, his own self. So he created this Jagat using his knowledge of creating this universe as an efficient cause, and he also used the material available to him, which is his own self. So he became the material cause and the efficient cause for this universe. Therefore, he said, everything proceeds from me and I am the source of all things. However, that is not something for us to easily understand. So, give me some examples of glories. The Bhagavan said it may be difficult to find glory in something which is average, but we can find in something which is really excellent. If you have a water jug, and if you just a little salt in it and you taste it, you won't know that there is salt in it. But there's a lot of salt in it and you taste it, you know there's salt in it. The Bhagavan has been giving several prominent examples. Sarganam adihi cha antah cha madhyam cha evam aham arjunaha. In the creation, for anything which is created, I am the beginning, the middle, and the end. There is no other material to create anything, to sustain anything, or destroy anything. The same material which was used to create this Jagat, everything in Jagat, in this universe, is also created by the same original material. So Bhagavan said, any creation you see in this world, I am the beginning, the middle, and the end. In verse 33, he says, Aksaranam akaro asmi. In previous verse, he said, in all the sounds, I am the one syllable Om. Because Om is the primordial sound. That is the sound which is the most basic sound out of which all the other variation of sounds come into existence. As I said, it's like 3-color printing. There are only 3 cartridges in your printer. But when you print a picture, permutation, combination of those 3 colors created this wonderful picture which has a variety of colors. So the A and Ma is like the source of all the sounds that we hear in this world. Is the sum total of all the sounds, the Om, out of which the first sound is A. A, U, and Ma makes Om. A signifies creation, U signifies sustenance, and Ma signifies destruction. So when you close your mouth, it's a Ma. I heard Anup Jalota telling a joke. He was teaching a female student. And he said, she will do Saregama, but when it comes to Ma, she will skip this Ma. He said, why are you skipping Ma? He said, Ma, I have to close my mouth, so my lipstick gets spoiled. So Ma, you're closing your lips, signifying the destruction. A comes from your belly, so that's a creation. Aksaranam akaru asmi. Among the letters, I'm A. Swamiji also explains that every language, the alphabet starts with A. And without A vowel, you cannot make any word. And Swamiji explains that in Sanskrit, there is a preponderance of A sound. Therefore, it is so sweet-sounding language. Dvandvaha samasikasya cha. Among the compound words in Sanskrit, I'm Dvandva. Those of us who have learned a little bit of Sanskrit, there are several compounding words. I know only one very well. Bahuvrihi samas. Yasya kantha nilaha saha nilakantha. Whose neck is blue is nilakantha. That's a bahuvrihi samas. So 2 words, nila and kantha. When you combine it with nilakantha, that's my name. That's why I remember from my 8th standard Sanskrit that it's called bahuvrihi samas. Nila is actually almost like an adjective. It does not have the same value as kantha. Kantha is the value. Nila is just the attributes of that kantha. But as Dvandva Samas use 2 words, they both retain their own identity. Sita Ram. 2 words, Sita Ram, Sita and Ram both maintain their own identity, their own importance. Therefore, Dvandva is considered the most prominent Samas. Bhagavan says, among the compound words, I am Dvandva. That which retains the value of both. Swamiji explains here that some commentators have commented that it also may be indicating the self and non-self. So this entire world of ours is made up of something which we call it self, that is me, and something which is not me, which is non-self. In Vedanta, this body, mind, intellect are non-self. They are not really permanent. I am permanent. I feeling is permanent. That's self. This beautiful combination of self and non-self which we see in our Jagat, where self remains the self and still non-self retains its own identity as a plurality in this world. So therefore it's a dvandva. Amongst compound words, I'm dvandva. Aham eva akshayah kalaha. I am that ever-existing time. For he said, among the reckoners, kalayatam, kalaha aham. Among the measures, I'm time. Everything we know is defined in space and time. Indian philosophers give more importance to time. They say time is fundamental. Space is the emergent quality of time. So, in that he said, I am the time among all the reckoners. How we measure things, I am time. In all the measurement, time is the most important one. Here he said, I am that infinite time. The time, it seems like to us it is flowing and going. I'm losing time. But time remains constant. It's our experiences change. Our time starts with the experience of any event followed by the second event. If there is only one event, there is no time. The first event occurs, there is no time. There is zero time. Second event occurs, we measure time between the two events. Therefore, Swamiji says the measure of time in English is second, not first. First, there is no time. Second. So here he says, I'm that infinite time, not that perceived through your senses as finite time. Dhata aham visvato mukhaha. And I am also the karma phala data. I am also the supporter, the dispenser of all your experiences. I experience as long as I'm alive, as long as I'm conscious. So my consciousness is the dispenser of all my thoughts and experiences. Bhagavan says, that's me, data aham, visvato mukhaha, facing everywhere. That self, which in me, facing everywhere and getting experience of everything, is the same self in you, facing everywhere, gaining all the experience outside. So when you put it together, Bhagavan is everywhere. No matter where you see, he is there. Next verse says, Mrityuhu sarva harascha aham. I am death among all that takes things away from you. You can lose things in some accident, you can lose things by losing something. Various ways we lose things in life. We lose money in stock market. But you see, that still you will be left with something. I may lose money, but I'll have my health. I may lose health, but I'm still alive. So there's something left, I lost something. But when I die, I lost everything. There's nothing left for me. Therefore, once I am the death, it takes away everything from you. You cannot take anything with you. Therefore, it's a mrityu sarva harascha, the greatest taker, to take away everything that you think is yours. Udbhavascha bhavishyatam. Now, translation in the book is slightly confusing, which says, I am the prosperity of those who are to be prosperous. Swamiji clarifies, that's not the really appropriate interpretation of Udbhava. Udbhava means to come into existence. Bhavishyatam. I am the source of all that is coming to be in existence in future. Not only I am the source of all things and beings in present that you see, but I am also the source of everything that will come in existence in future. In other words, past, present and future are just concepts of my mind. There is only one existence and it exists all the time. And therefore, anything which is created in that existence is nothing but the expression of the same supreme reality which is all-pervading, everlasting, omnipresent, omniscient. Kirtihi Sri Vakcha Narinam Smruti Medha Dhruti Kshamaha. All women can take some pride here. All the good qualities are feminine. It says that I am the feminine qualities, fame, prosperity, speech, memory, intelligence, firmness, and forgiveness. All these qualities are manifest in people because of my presence. And Swamiji says it's associated with feminine aspect, which is more gentle and more divine. So all these qualities in Sanskrit language are a feminine gender. Therefore he said Narinam. However, it also says that these qualities are easier to find in women than in men. Easier to experience. It's not that the man will not have these qualities. It is difficult to detect in them. So somebody like Golda Meir, President of Israel, Iron Lady from England, Margaret Thatcher, you remember them. So Bhagavan said that those divine qualities, they are manifesting in people because of my presence. And then the last verse, Bruhat Sam Tatha Samnam. Bhagavan is taking examples from various aspects of Arjuna's life. Whatever he thinks Arjuna has experienced, he's taking examples and giving him a prominent example. So obviously Arjuna growing up in Vedic culture, he's familiar with Vedas. Among Vedas, Sama Veda is obviously the most beautiful because it is musical, in poetry, versus others are in prose. You can sing Sama Veda, and Sama Veda's samanas are in musical meters. And among the meters, the Brihati meter is the most complex meter to sing. Bruhat Sam, which is the prayer to Lord Indra, that is supposed to be the most complex and most beautiful. But then he also says, Gayatri Chandasamaham. Among the meters, I'm Gayatri. So we have learned that Gayatri meter has 24 syllables and 3 rows of 8 each. Most chands have 4 lines, with the most popular Anushtup, which is what Gita is written in mostly. When the long words come, it is Trishtup. Otherwise, most of the verses are Anushtup. Also, when you are playing music, Kerva is the most common tal. Kerva is 4 times 2, 8 beats. In Gayatri, there are only 3 lines, and it considered to be the most prominent chanda because the Gayatri mantra is written in that meter. And Gayatri mantra is considered the most important mantra of our culture. This is the only mantra which has been chanted for the longest period of human history in any religion. So they've been chanting Gayatri mantra from thousands of years ago. We still chant Gayatri mantra, and many people all over the world are chanting Gayatri mantra. The praise of Lord Sun. Sun, which is the source of all the energy. My existence in this world is because of Sun. There is no source of any other energy on this planet, and you and I won't be around. Therefore, he said, among meter, I'm Gayatri. Masanam Margasirsovaham. Among the months, I'm Margasirsa, because it is close to the Uttarayan time. The sun is moving towards north, and therefore now we're going to the longer days. So that's considered auspicious. Everything which is auspicious you do after Uttarayan. Even one of this verse in Bhagavad Gita says, well, those who die during the Uttarayan time, they go to heaven. Those who die in the Dakshinayan time, they go to somewhere else. The sun's moving north is considered auspicious. But I came across a very interesting explanation in Ramakrishna Mission's Gita. It says, in our day, Brahma Muhurta is the best for spiritual practices. You and I typically don't get up in Brahma Muhurta, which is 4 to 5:30 or something like that. Considered the best for meditation or any spiritual practices. For Devas, the 1 year of earthly time is 1 day. So Margasirsa falls into the Brahma Muhurta for Devas. So therefore, it is considered most appropriate for the spiritual practices. So Brahma Muhurta is the best time in a day, and Margasirsa is the most appropriate time for spiritual practices in a year. That may be a good explanation for us. Masanam Margasirsoham Rutunam Kusumakaraha. Among the seasons, I am spring. And in Western world, we have only 4 seasons, but in India, we have 6 seasons. And among that, Vasant obviously is the most beautiful. It does not need any explanation why spring is the best season out of all. You're not suffering from heat. You're not suffering from cold. You're not suffering from monsoon, the rain. It is just the perfect season. Everything is coming out of the ground from hibernation, and it is the most pleasant time to be around. So therefore Bhagavan said, among the seasons, I am springtime. We'll stop right here. If you find this podcast helpful, please support it by donating any amount by going to the episode's website at neilbhatt.podbean.com or at chinmayarichmond.org. Thank you. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.